Detailer's Roadmap Cruise Control, where we navigate the roadways of life, business, and everything in between. Hey guys, it's Kevin Davis from the Cruise Control Podcast, brought to you by Detailer's Roadmap. And today I'm going to be here with a great friend of mine, Markus Kaulius, and I can't wait to talk to him. Before we get started, just want to remind you that Detailer's Roadmap, we build kick-ass websites and do SEO services. So if you are a current customer, you already know that. If you're not, make sure you head over to detailersroadmap.com. Up at the right, if this is still there, it may be in a different position when you go there. It just says book a demo, and you'll be able to talk to Pat or Chris or one of our other salespeople, be able to walk you through the whole process for detailing your SEO and website services. So, hey, I want to read Markus's bio here, which is, a few little paragraphs here. He's only done a couple of things in his life for the last 25 plus years. But Markus is a serial entrepreneur and founder of multiple 8 and 9 figure businesses. Over the last 25 plus year career, he grew a supplement company from a startup, which is super important. I think I want to talk about that, to 170 million plus, and helped clients worldwide lose over 3 million pounds, and has impacted the lives of over 10 million people. Before I continue, I would say I'm one of those 10 million. I'm happy to be one of those 10 million with great impact on my own life. As a thought leader in the industry, he advises multiple 8 and 9 figure companies on growth strategy and has been featured in major media such as PBS, Fox News, Apple TV, and CNN. Markus's name is now in the Guinness Record Book, and as he recently spoke at a conference on financial literacy, which broke the attendance record, which is super cool. With an online following over 300K, Markus shares daily insights with his community spanning business strategy, mindset, health, and faith. Through his venture playabiggergame.com, Markus is bringing together the world's greatest minds and sharing lessons learned from his entrepreneurial journey to help other high achievers break free from imbalance and feelings of discontent so they can find fulfillment beyond career success. And I will mention, he has just released his new book called Play a Bigger Game. And I know he's in the middle of doing his audio book right now, and it's been crazy, and he's got all this stuff going on. So Markus, that is, I love your bio. I love to talk through that stuff. And honestly, we've gotten to know each other over the last few months. I'm a part of your community. I'm now excited to be a part of your world, and I'm super excited to have you here. We're doing this Visionaries series. I've got 4 different high-level businessmen that have kind of self-made, have kind of come up through this. And I wanted to share with the audience, like, how do these guys get here? What's their mindset? What do they, how did they get here, really? And what can they share with us who are, smaller business owners, owner-operators, just kind of getting started or looking to grow? So thanks for coming on board, man.
Brother, thank you so much. Wow, that was quite the intro, quite the mouthful. I felt like I was your grade 2 teacher watching you read in front of the class. So, man, I'm just excited to spend time with you always, brother. You are a great man, and you're doing great things to impact a lot of lives.
I appreciate that. Hey, can you fill in the gaps? I mean, that's your bio. Let's go to LinkedIn, go to your website. We can read it. But kind of, I always like to ask the people that are on this podcast, give me your superhero backstory, right? Like all superheroes, this is the line we use on Cruise Control. All the superheroes, no matter what their industry, where they're at, they always have a backstory. And so love for you to share some of that as much as you want, kind of share how we got here.
I love that. And I use the same words because I love that origin story because it's always so cool. And you go, oh, that's why they became what they became. So for my first 15 years, man, I was in the muck. It sucked. My first 15 years on this planet sucked. And before I go further, I want to tell you this. I love my backstory. So I'm not one of those people that's like, oh, it's so bad, I don't want to go there. Or if I go there, we're going to poor me. No, I love that this is my backstory because it's who I am. It defined who I was. So for 15 years, I didn't believe I was worthy of love. I didn't experience love, which is such a weird thing to say out loud. And I was so stuck on a path that led to nothing. No success, no love, no freedom, no excitement, no passion. Man, that is hell. That is hell. When I was 7, my parents divorced, and truly, I became an orphan that day. I lost both of my parents. My father was already out of the picture, but now he's gone. My mother had to go back to school full-time and work full-time, so I lost my mom that day too. And just like you and I talked about how we have this in common, like I started to raise myself at 7. That's freaking awesome. How many 7-year-olds get to raise themselves? Now, I don't wish that on anybody because I think there's a lot of 7-year-olds who won't make it if they have to raise themselves, but I did. So I'm very grateful for that. For the next 8 years, I was on that crappy path, like poor me, mindset of there's no way I can do anything. Like all the cards are stacked against me. I didn't get any gifts. I didn't get any talents. I don't know where I was when those were being handed out, but none were for me. And I was so stuck. And anyone who has that mentality, if anyone's listening, by the way, I'm not calling you out. And please only feel love and mercy from me. I say these things because I was once that guy. And I hope you're hearing it going, man, if that was that guy once, I want to hear how he got out of it. And that's really what I feel like I'm here to do on this planet, is to help others. I believe we are most powerfully positioned to help the person we once were. So I think I know the language very well of the person who is in the muck, who feels like there's just no way. There's no way for me to succeed. You don't understand my backstory. And it's like, I hear you. But if you want to just focus on the negative, you are going to find that negative your whole life. And this is not just like, so let's have a cheery attitude, everybody. There's a silver lining for everybody. No, this stuff is legit and it works. So if you want to focus on, I am blessed. All that crap in my past, those were actually gifts. Gifts. Not like, yeah, I'm so tough, I would manage my way through it. No, they were gifts. They were little challenges meant for a big man to get ahead in life. Ooh, doesn't that sound so much better than, woe is me, Kev, and I had to do it all on my own? No, that's bullcrap.
Yeah, I love hearing, one of my favorite phrases is it must be nice.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Like I look at you with your great smile and nice suit and nice office and all that. And it must be nice to be Markus. I'm sure, he didn't work at all. And then like, I love it when people say, and I haven't achieved the same business level of success that you have, but I feel like I've got, other levels of success that we share. And I talk about that on this podcast, but it's one of those things. Well, let me tell you a story from when I was 8 years old, and you tell me if it still sounds nice, right? Like but to use that, it is nice to have those challenges and things, because that's what turns you into the person that you are.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
I love that. And listen, we're talking about this one thing, which is mindset. And I love that you stated that from the beginning. I love working with mindset. I love exploring the brain. And it's since I was 15 years old, I actually discovered Tony Robbins. I was gifted Tony Robbins when I was 15 years old. So for 30 years, I've been exploring the brain, exploring mindset. And here's how powerful it is. I'm going to try and boil this down. There are a billion different mindset techniques, perspective shifts. You have to work on each one, compound them, do them over time. But when you think about like, oh yeah, so look at Markus, he has this fancy, wonderful life. Man, I'm millions and millions of dollars in debt. Now, when I say in debt, that's not like, I owe all the wrong people money. No. But as you grow in life, as you grow in business, you are going to have more debt. You're going to have more mortgages. You're going to have more people counting on you. At my peak at Magnum, which was my big business that I sold, I did a quick calculation and there were 100 families' mortgages counting on me to do what I do.
Wow.
So when you say, oh yeah, he's got it easy, man, you have a problem with one mortgage. It stresses you out over your one mortgage. Okay. Pretty simple math. How much more stress do you think I was dealing with? I'm not a superhero, but if you have the right mindset and the right perspective, you can handle 100 mortgages or 1,000 mortgages. And you have to do these things. You have to work on your mindset, because if you ever get a second or third mortgage and you don't have the mindset, it'll break you. Like I can so confidently say that. And I've seen so many people do exactly that. And it makes me so sad. Social media is full of those people. How many people a year ago did you see on social media looking like they were living the big life and they became truly a success overnight? Not like Markus became a success overnight over 30 years, but like truly, like they hit it big, like almost like winning the lottery. Do you know how quickly those people lose their money? On average, it's 3 years. Why?
Wow.
Because they haven't changed anything and they didn't actually like earn it. If you build your mindset, you learn these things, and I want to work with that. Like I'm so excited to share these things. I'm going to share a couple of key tools today. If you put them into practice, you will notice by tomorrow, things have started to change in your life.
Yeah, and honestly, like I can say, since you and I met a few months ago, you and I had a conversation, and this is one of the reasons that you and I have connected so well. We had a great connection right away, but there was a particular shift in my own mindset because we just like everybody else with business, you have, cash flow things, or you're going through different stresses or whatever. And I've got too many brands and all this stuff, but there was a particular shift with my own mindset to where that actually opened this floodgate situation where new opportunities came that and it's like, it could get a little woo woo, right? But it's like, I didn't really think about it, but it's not like I opened this valve and things came in, right? It's that it's almost like I opened my eyes to see the things that were already in front of me.
Yes.
And I think that that's really important. One of the things we see in this particular industry, when we're talking about detailing and automotive and that kind of thing, is I see all the time people posting on Facebook in particular, social media, about the haters and about proving people wrong and about how this one person said one nasty thing to me and I'm going to let it and this is how I responded, and all of this kind of this. And I don't know what I'm doing wrong, but I don't have a lot of haters. Like I'm sure people don't like me, but maybe they don't say it out loud. Feel free to DM me after this podcast if you happen to be one of those people. But like I look at these posts and I'm just thinking, what a hard place to be in your life to worry about what other people say to you and what and this whole idea that I'm going to dedicate my life to proving that person wrong.
Yeah.
Like that just seems like the wrong way to go.
Oh, so much. So I'm going to use one of my mentor, Tony Robbins' quotes, which is, where your focus goes, energy flows. So if you're going to focus on the negative stuff, you're going to pour your energy into it. Meaning, oh man, look at the negativity coming at me today. I'm going to focus on it. Blah, blah. And what you're doing when you're looking over here with the negative stuff, all this positive stuff is flowing over here, and you're missing it. You're missing the opportunities. You're missing the exciting stuff, the stuff that will lift you up. And you cannot argue with me that when you're focusing on this negative stuff, it isn't negatively impacting your whole life. You just might not be willing to admit it right now. But think about how you come home at the end of the day and you treat your wife, your children, all the people around you, your business partner, your clients. When you're focusing on negative, that stuff spills out into everything. Well, the truth actually is held on the other side as well. Meaning if you focus on the positive stuff, that spills out onto everything as well. But one of the greatest things about focusing on the positive things is you have way more energy. Like it's not depleting. So at the end of the day, what I recognized when I started to do this more and more and more, I'd come home with more energy. I was more interested and excited to spend time with my family and friends. And, that's going to be my segue. I want to jump into one of the simplest starter spots. If you are listening to this and you're like, all right, Marcus, give me something tangible here. Maybe I believe you, maybe I don't. But give me something. Here it is. Think about how if you are spending time with a bunch of people who focus on negative, who want to talk about negative, who everything coming out of their mouth is negative, negative, negative. How do you think you are going to get ahead? How do you think you are going to be different? It's almost impossible. If you spend time with a bunch of people who are focusing on negative, that's who you become. Now, if you start adding a few more people into your life who focus a little more on the positive stuff, who have positive perspectives, who are just looking at things in the more positive way, you're going to notice that wears off onto you as well. And all of a sudden you're like, hey, I'm starting to see a little bit more positivity in my life. No matter what you focus on, you are going to find. If I say, man, I had a bad day today, My brain's going to go, Kevin, here are all the reasons I'm right about having a bad day. Boom, 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 boom. Guess what? Anybody on any day can find at least 10 reasons why they had a bad day. However, if I said, today I had a great day, anybody at any time can find 10 reasons they had a great day. Which one do you think will give you more energy? Which one do you think will help you sleep better at night? Which one do you think will help you treat your kids and your wife better? So the question is, which way do you want to go? It is your choice.
So walk me through that, right? Like, it's, and I get it, having spent some more time with you. But first of all, not everybody gets even what the word mindset means, right?
Sure.
Like that's kind of the world we live in a lot.
Right.
But walk me through the average. All right, so I came in. I had 3 no-shows today. My main employee didn't show up. My dog pooped on my office carpet. Like, those are my 10 things, right? Like, I could run through and do those 10 things.
Yes.
How do I, at the end of that day, say today was a great day? And almost like a little caveat that I did have some challenges, maybe.
Yep.
But how does that kind of ideology how do you walk through that on a day-to-day basis?
Brother, this is so good. And I'm going to start by saying this. Just because you heard this and maybe you tried it once, don't get pissed off at yourself if you're not the best at it. You won't be. This is the first time. Like, do you remember picking up a basketball for the first time? Were you all of a sudden sinking 3-pointers like no problem? You're lucky if you hit the rim. So you had to keep coming back day after day. And what happened when you come back day after day? You got a little bit better. Hey, I hit the rim twice today. Hey, one of them went in. Oh my goodness. So be prepared for that. So the first thing is to go, what if every challenge that came across your plate, every challenge, was actually a gift? I know this is a big thought. And I know crazy crap that happens in your life, you're like, there's no freaking way this is a gift. Okay? So I'll start with me, and then I'm going to come back to your example. When I was 7 and my parents got divorced, that was a massive gift. How could that be? It's a gift? What? I was left alone. I had to fend for myself. I felt like I had no love. Well, guess what? Because of that, I became super independent. Because of that, I became an entrepreneur. Truly, that was the cause of this. Because of that, man, I'm obsessed with my wife. Because of that, I'm obsessed with my children. I show up every day for my kids because I love them. I love my wife. That's the man I am today because of that. Would I change that for 7-year-old Marcus? No freaking way. So going back to your example, you get to the office, 3 no-shows. Man, that seems like it stinks. However, haven't you also been complaining that you don't have time to catch up on things like paperwork or call mom or spend a little extra time with the wife? Like, I bet you there are 50 things on your dream to-do list that you can't do because your schedule's been too busy. Well, guess what? God just offered you about 3 hours. And you're now what? You're complaining? I got 3 hours added to my schedule. This sucks. See? So this is what we're talking about with mindset. Your mind, you have the choice to either go, this day sucks. I had 3 no-shows, or what a gift. I had 3 no-shows. There it is. And these are just little things. And now what you do with that time, think about it. If I go, frick, I guess I have to go do this and that to fill my schedule. Yeah, that's going to be sucky time too. Or because this was a gift, I'm going to go get some exercise. I'm going to spend time with my wife. Look at how the difference in energy will change everything. Now, if you compound that, do that every single day, watch for those opportunities. And it works for everything. So the dog crapped on your carpet. Oof, that stinks.
Literally.
So, have you been putting off training your dog? What a gift to go, you know what? I've had enough. I've reached my limit. I'm going to start training my dog. Is that not a gift? Because now you are forced to train your dog, whatever that means to you. Now your dog goes through training or whatever it is. Now you got a way better dog. You've disciplined your dog. Now your dog will never crap on that carpet again, where it used to crap on that carpet once a month and you knew it, but you're like, it's only once a month. It's not so bad. So you can turn anything into a gift. So again, the principle is this, just one simple question. How is this a gift? And just find the answer. I promise you, 100% of the time, it is a gift. You just have to decide you're going to see it. Now, the last thing I want to say about it is this. Sometimes, and Kevin, this is so you're in my relationship. Sometimes we're in the maze and we're going through the maze and you hit a wall and you're like, frick. Okay, go this way. Another wall and another wall. If you have somebody standing above the maze and you go, Kevin, if I might interject, dude, I can see. All you need to go one step back, go to the left, and then go to the right. Mm-hmm. That's how easy it is for someone else to usually see what you're going through. It's really hard for us because we got these blinders on and we got this mindset of a whole bunch of stuff that we don't realize we have. Kevin, you don't understand. I already went left. I already did this. And it's like, I hear you. But if you would just try this for me, because I'm standing up here, I can see it, man. Just back up and then go this way. Fine. So have someone in your corner. This is one of the things I love doing. I love working with people to just go, hey, man, I'm just going to encourage you. Have you tried this? What if you did this? And then take action on it. Do something about it. Just do it. Try it and see what happens.
Yeah, and that person doesn't have to be like a high-end performance coach or anything like that. It can be, hook up with another small business owner, either in your same industry or some other industry, and say, hey, would you, here's what I'm dealing with. How would you approach this?
Yeah.
Right. And so that guidance can be super, it's not even super valuable, but almost invaluable.
Yes.
Right. And it's so funny, but me and I, you and I sitting and having a conversation, you'll ask me a question like that. Have you ever thought about this? And then I'm almost embarrassed in some cases to where I'm like, no, I didn't think of that. And I feel really dumb that I didn't think of that because it's so simple. And I say that like jokingly, right? Like I don't actually, like I'm not self-deprecating there or whatever, but sometimes it just takes looking at the whole perspective and being able to see the things. We use an example, like even taking it very down to not even a mindset level, but for guys that are working in their shops to video record what their shop is doing so they can look for inefficiencies and really movements and that kind of thing.
Yeah.
But it's almost like taking that to a higher level and doing that with your own life.
Yes.
Right. To be able to have that high level view and to be able to watch it from the outside.
Brother, that is so good. And you brought up something so important because one of the things that you show up with is no ego. And I respect that about you so much. That's what makes you so beautifully coachable and what's going to get you ahead. Because the opposite, here's what happens. If we're like, all right, fine, Kevin, tell me, go ahead, tell me what I'm doing wrong. Do you really want to tell me? Or are you like scared to give me the answer? Because I'm like, this better be the best advice I've ever heard, Kevin. If you show up like, dude, I'm listening and listen to it. And it doesn't mean that it's always going to be right. Like when I give something to Kev, it's not like, Kev, you're about to hear the most brilliant thing you've ever heard and you better do. Hey, that's why I'm just encouraging. Hey, have you looked at it this way? It's just having someone look at things just with a slightly different perspective and you go, oh man, just the idea that there is a different perspective opens up your mind. So you have to be open to that. And the more open you are, the more people are going to give you because they weren't snapped at. They didn't have their hand bitten when they were trying to give you something. So having that beautiful attitude that you show up with every time, Kev, that's what is getting you ahead already. That's why you're seeing those changes because you're like, hey, maybe I don't have all the answers. What a beautiful thing to say. We don't have to have all the answers. And I can learn from anybody. I don't show up into a room like, well, hold on. Am I the richest guy here? Well, then I'm not going to learn from anybody. No, I can learn from any. I taught my kids this at a very young age. We were watching The Office together. And we would laugh at Michael Scott. And I would pause it and I'd go, girls, what could you learn here? So Michael Scott was always doing it wrong, but they would learn such important lessons. So you don't have to just learn from the David Wallaces who have it all figured out and who are doing so well. No, pay attention. Sometimes someone will give you something and you're like, I'm going to do the exact opposite, but I'm so glad I listened.
Yeah, and I've said it a million times, which is if you think you're the smartest guy in the room, you're in the wrong room.
Yeah.
I'm never the smartest guy in the room. And I don't know what that says about me, but I'm definitely, I always want to learn something from someone, whether it's someone like yourself, who's, ultra successful in all the ways that I would measure success in, or someone that has success in one particular area, like a fitness guy or somebody that, knows about business or marketing or whatever, but it's more succinct in their knowledge base that, everybody, or having a conversation with an 80-year-old custodian at the high school.
Yes.
Right. Like those kind of conversations are almost more valuable than sitting down with a billionaire.
Right.
Right. Like, I have a neighbor of mine that's 92 years old, and he was a pastor for 40 years. He was a secret agent in the army and all. Like to sit and talk to him is just, it's amazing because of those kind of conversations, but it's looking for opportunities to learn from everyone you come in contact with. And honestly, just having an open mind, even with the amount of media that we can consume that's positive and helpful, having an open mind and listening to everybody that you are allowing into your brain can also be, super helpful as well.
So true. And listen, I do have an answer for you on what that says about you not being the smartest person in every room you walk into. You're the person who's going to grow the most. And I'll tell you, I'm jealous of that in a very positive way. I think someone's growth is the most beautiful thing you can witness. People who are growing, man, whether you recognize it or not, that is who you're going, oh man, there's something about that guy. Because growth is the most beautiful thing and it's what gets us out of bed every day. It's what gets us excited to do anything in life. So check yourself. Have you been growing lately? Are you open to growing? And if your answer is no, that is the answer to why you feel how you do. And I know the answer to how you feel. It's not good. So just look to grow each day, not by leaps and bounds. You don't have to read a full book today, but go listen to a podcast for 10 minutes. Go read 3 pages of a book and find a nugget that interests you, excites you, challenges you, and do something about it. Just take action on it. This is what I've dedicated my life to, is taking action on the stuff I learn. We're consumers these days. All we do is we consume, and we go, I don't know why I'm not growing. I listened to 6 podcasts. Did you do anything with it? Did you try any of the examples? Did you give some effort? That's where you're going to get so excited about life. That is the juice of life, is taking action and experiencing some growth.
What are the things that keep people from growing? Like, I mean, is it, again, it goes back to mindset, right? But help us define that, because when we're dealing with small business owners that are working their asses off, they may not be kind of where they want to be. Yeah. And what we're talking about is a fundamental / incremental change in your mindset, the way you think about things, the way you behave, the way you manage your life. But what are those things what are those blocks that keep people from doing that?
Brother, spectacular question. And I want to caveat by saying this. There is not one answer. I am going to give you one answer. It is one of many answers, but I'm not so foolish or arrogant to go, this is the only answer. But here is one reason you are not growing. Because you are actually living in a state of fear.
This episode is brought to you by Detailer's Roadmap. Hey, spoiler alert, that's us. We all know you need a kick-ass website in order to be successful with your business. The good news is, at Detailer's Roadmap, kick-ass websites, that's kind of what we do. With the latest performance, designs, and SEO strategies, Detailer's Roadmap is your one-stop shop to be successful on the web. And don't forget, we have the best support team in the industry. Whether you're an existing partner looking to improve your lead generation or you need a brand new website, Detailer's Roadmap is here to help you be successful on the web. So go to detailersroadmap.com/success and get started today. That's detailersroadmap.com/SUCCESS.
Now, I'm not afraid of anything. Yeah, I know. When we get comfortable, so we've made a certain amount of money. And I teach people this every single day. Literally, I have this conversation almost every single day of my life. We have a number in our head that was our number. I didn't think I was going to be able to make $70,000 a year. I'm making 70 grand. And when you get to that 70 grand, not only do you stop the gas pedal, you've pulled your foot right off. Now you're living in fear like, I don't even know how I got to 70K and I'm so scared of losing it. Well, you didn't get to 70K with that attitude. You got to 70K by putting your foot on the gas and going for it, going, I got nothing to lose. But now you got something to lose. And the fear has sunk in. And so all you can do is focus on not losing that 70K per year. Ah, crap, it actually already slipped to 60K. Ah, crap, it already slipped to 50K. But it doesn't hurt enough for me to go back and put my foot on the gas pedal because I don't even remember what that's like anymore. So we live in that state of fear. And you and I had this conversation just yesterday. You know, I've heard so many people over my life saying, I made the worst decisions in my life. All the worst decisions in my life I made under the influence of alcohol. I have a slightly different saying. All the worst decisions in my life I've made under the influence of fear. And the opposite of a fearful mindset is an abundance mindset. So instead of this idea like, oh man, I might lose it. What do I need to do to keep it? What do I need to do to keep my business at this number? I have this mindset of, how do I grow this thing? How do I keep growing way bigger? How do I have way bigger ideas? And now, again, there are about a billion mindset techniques that can go along with this, that work well with this, that you have to put in work on. But here's one of them. Here's one that I've always loved. I love thinking about a big player in life. So I love guys like Mark Cuban. Everybody knows Shark Tank, I think. Everybody loves Shark Tank. So I sometimes picture myself sitting down with Mark Cuban and pitching him my small idea. Aren't you embarrassed to go, hey, Mark Cuban, I got this idea that's going to make us $50,000 per year. I want to start by saying anybody making 50K, I'm not insulting you. But what I'm trying to help you do is set a different mindset that you're talking to a multi-billionaire who started like, I don't know, a couple $100 billion businesses. What reaction do you think he's going to have to, we could make $50,000? Now, Mark is a good guy. I know Mark, he's not going to be like, you stupid, I don't want to hear that. No, he's going to be like, oh, that's really good. Go get him, Kevin. Good luck, buddy. But I would be embarrassed, should be embarrassed to pitch that idea. So what do? I visualize it and I go, all right, no, I want to pitch Mark a 100K idea. What would that look like? 200K, $1 million. Now start letting your mind go bigger. That is abundance mindset. And don't do it for 5 minutes. Do it for 10 minutes every single day. Do it for 10 minutes every second hour. This way, your mind stays open. In fear, our mind shuts down. This is the only way. I've got such a tight grip on it. This is the only way I'm going to make my 50K, Kev. If we let go and we open up our mind, all of a sudden you're like, holy smokes, wait a minute. That's actually a way better idea. I could totally see myself making 100K. Holy smokes. I could see myself making 300K on that idea. That's what happens when we keep our mind open. And now take a little bit of action. Do a little bit of research on it. And anything now that requires like, well, I got to put my whole life savings in. I got to take a second mortgage on my house. I'm going all in. Let's find out. Let's roll the dice, see if this works. I don't agree with that. I don't agree with that. There are going to be times in your business where you have to put a lot on the line. Maybe everything on the line. But that's only when you have carefully looked through the options and know that this is a worthwhile investment, not a gamble, there's 20% chance I'm going to hit it big. No, not good. I hope you can picture, if you have any respect for me at all, picture sitting down with me, and what would I say? I'm not going to go, let those dice fly, buddy. I hope you're not on the street by tonight. I'd be like, no, this is not the right idea. There are not just like 4 good ideas in your whole life. But again, fear mindset says there's only like 4 ideas that I'll ever come up with. So this is one of them. I got to bet everything. If you're betting everything, it is not a good idea.
Yeah, because then that's not risk management, right?
No.
Like that's not risk management, not risk mitigation. And as entrepreneurs, small business owners, we are risk averse, but not risk ignorant. Is how I've heard it said.
Good.
Like I'm not averse to risk at all. My wife Michelle will come in here and take my dice away. She's hidden them somewhere in the house. But she is very risk averse. So that helps me to be risk mitigating and risk, know what risks are there. I'm a like worst case scenario guy where like, I want to know the worst case scenario. So then I can mitigate the risk and not get to worst case scenario, right? Like that's kind of where I thought, but I'm kind of sitting in the mind of someone listening to this and they're like, wait, this is a visionary series. I thought we were going to come listen to rich guys tell me how they built multi-million-dollar companies, and this guy's just talking about woo-woo and mindset and love yourself. I just talk to that because I want what I want people to understand in listening to this is that what Markus is talking about is central to the success of his life.
Yes.
And I talk a lot about redefining your success, right? For me, it's more important to hear Markus talk about his wife and his children than it is to talk about the supplement company that he sold for a bunch of money, right? So however you define success is your own prerogative, but it's a lifetime success model, right? Like it's not because anybody can make a bunch of money, and I've said on the podcast many times too, if your whole goal is money, you'll never have enough.
Never.
Right. But given that what I just said, this like, we are talking about how you got to where you are. Right. So if you could just walk us through that real quickly, just to dispel like, oh, well, this is just a bunch of, nonsense. And Tony Robbins has got the great teeth and he's 6'5" and big hands and big head. And what does he know? Right. Like he's only a multi-billionaire, but like that, you know what I mean? Like that's kind of this thought process that a lot of people will have when they listen to stuff like this.
I totally agree, man. Such a great line of question. By the way, Kev, you are so great at what you do, man. It is an honor to watch you living in this moment. It is freaking beautiful.
I appreciate that.
And I think you're so right. I think that's exactly what a lot of people are hearing right now, and they might be tuning me out. So give me just one more chance, everybody. This is about real success in life. It's just like Kevin said, if you just want money, first of all, you can make it. You can figure out a way to get money. What I want to help you avoid is to get some money and then be bankrupt everywhere else in your life. I know way too many guys. I work with way too many successful people who have a wallet full of dollars and a house full of strangers. If you lose your relationships and you lose your health, do you really think all the money in the world is going to feel anything but gross? I can confidently say it will feel gross. So let's all agree. I mean, let's think about this for a minute. You got to define success in your life. But if it doesn't involve health and great relationships, I'm sorry, I'm calling bullcrap. I don't think that's real success. And so that's why these mindset tips are so important. And here's the other piece of this: stress. If you think, dude, I'll have way less stress when I got $1 million in my bank account. Oh man, that is truly someone who's never had $1 million in their bank account. With more money comes way more, exponentially more stress if you haven't done the mindset work. And let me tell you right now, this is a great thing. I don't share this often. So it was just last January. Last January, I'm in the midst of selling my business. And this is a big sale. This is a big exit. I had a couple of big projects on the go, including building my dream house. I had my line of credit maxed. I had a really huge line of credit. That's personal. I had a line of credit that was massive for the business, maxed. We were on the tightest financial crunch in our history because we were launching products. We had so lots of great things going on. But because my mindset was weak at that moment, and one of the reasons that it was so weak at that moment, I was doing I should be. Like, I've been in business so long, I shouldn't be experiencing this. I should be feeling way more ease. I should have way more money in the bank. That was the worst stress financially I've ever experienced in my life. I was at that moment, that was the richest I had ever been at that moment. And yet it was the most stressed I'd ever been. I wasn't sleeping well. I was acting up. My health was questionable at times. So if you want real success in life, you have to figure out this mindset stuff so that your health comes with it. Your mind, you can sleep well at night. Your relationships, that's going to be real success.
I love it. Right up my alley. That's, preach it from the rooftops, right? Shout it from the rooftops with that for sure. I want to be respectful of your time. I do have a couple of questions that I put it out on our little, pro group here, and I'm going to kind of shorten this one, and I think you've already answered this and you can keep it short. In the first 10 years of your company, what were the top, he said 3. Let's just take, what's the top lesson you learned that you can attribute that long-term success that you created?
So great. Here's the answer. Don't spend your money. It is so hard as an entrepreneur. You get a little taste of success. You got a few dollars in your pocket. Dude, I deserve that Range Rover. I deserve that, whatever. Don't do it. Challenge yourself. Have a fun little challenge. Talk with your wife, talk with your kids, whatever. Hey guys, we're starting to do well. I want to challenge us. Let's see if we can go 6 more months without spending it. Let's see if we can go 1 more year without spending it. That was critical because then I had the money to keep growing the business. Had I started pulling out, just so you know, I went my first 5 years without taking a salary.
Wow.
5 years. We were doing something like 3.5 million at that point. And we've done millions and millions of sales leading up to that. I didn't touch a penny because I knew where it was going to go and I knew the money I had to have in there. Do you know how hard that was?
Yeah.
But look what happened.
Yeah, 100%. That's great advice. I think that's amazing advice. All right, so this is a loaded question. I gave you a little bit of upfront before we started, but essentially he said, I've heard a lot of folks say that major success is largely due to luck. What do you think? What do you think about that?
There's a few different ways I want to answer this. One, I've always loved this. I think I picked this up in hockey when I was young. You have to be good to be lucky. And you can call it luck all day if you're successful. However, if you're not successful and you're using it to the negative, this goes back to the very first point I brought up. You will find evidence for whatever you choose to look for. So if you're saying you're unlucky, that is not going to serve you. That is going to keep you in the muck for your whole life. So why would you say it? Why would you say it? It's not true, by the way. It's not even 1% true. What it's doing is it's giving you an excuse to do nothing because luck is out of your control. The more you focus on things that are out of your control, the more you feel the world is out of control and it feels like chaos and nothing you do matters anyway. If you focus what's in your control, you have the power to do things that will change your life. So know that you're in control. Know that the choices you make will set the path for you and your family, your success, your health, your relationships. Choose to make your own luck, and you will be one lucky son of a gun.
I love that. I always say, hey, look, it's probably your fault. Whatever's happening in your life, good or bad, is probably your fault. But the good news is, if it's your fault, you can facilitate change. Right? If it's someone else's fault, I can't do anything about it.
Yep.
But if it's my fault, guess what? I'm the one that can change it. Right.
Oh.
So that's absolutely awesome that you would point to that as well.
Kev, I love that. And just so you know, when I'm choosing to work with someone or not, that is actually the number one thing I'm looking for. If you point fingers at other people, what that means is, oh, so you learn nothing. Meaning if the exact same thing happens tomorrow, you probably get the exact same answer, the same terrible outcome, because you learned nothing. If I choose to always point the finger at me, this is my fault some way or another, then you look for the answer. Oh, there it is. If you are in charge, it's always your fault. Always. I don't care if it was that guy that dropped the car. You hired the guy. You are the one who said, you go ahead, do whatever you want with the, oh, you dropped it? You. So you need to learn that stuff. If you just go, well, it was just Ted and I fired Ted, it won't happen again. Oh yeah, it will. It'll be Ned next.
Ned and his brother Ted. Don't hire the brothers. Hey, how do we find more information about you? There may be some people on here that are like, dude, I would love to work with Markus. I definitely want to get a copy of his book and read that. Like, how do we find you? How do we learn more information about you?
Oh, thanks, brother. Play Bigger Game, the book right here. Oh, is it's available on Amazon, Barnes and Noble, everywhere where good books are sold. Please go order a copy and go register it on playbiggergame.com/book. If you register your book, you're going to get some extra freebies. And that's the other way to connect with me, playbiggergame.com. It's my community. It's my mastermind. Come spend some time with me. You will be surrounded by amazing human beings, including myself, if I might say so, that will open up your mind to help you be more successful in life. But at the very least, please come find me on Instagram. Let me know you heard this. If something stood out to you, tell me what it was. I will answer that DM. That's who I am. I love hearing that stuff so much. My whole purpose on this planet is to impact others. So if you let me know that I've somehow impacted you, you will be giving me such a beautiful gift. The very least I could do is respond, but I hope we will be able to create a bit of a relationship.
That's awesome, Markus. Well, I appreciate you more than you know. I appreciate you taking the time to be on here. And I know that there's a bunch of guys out there and girls that this will help for sure.
God bless you, brother. Thanks for doing what you do.
Head over to detailersroadmap.com and get your one-stop success solution today.